The death of Heath Ledger remains a mystery to this very day. But why? He was a Hollywood rising star, humble, kind, and everything was as it should have been. Or was it? His performance in The Dark Knight as the Joker was flawless. However, he could never witness the masterpiece being streamed on screen, as he tragically passed away 6 months before the movie was released. When Jack Nicholson, who played the Joker in the 1989 Batman, discovered that Heath Ledger was found dead, he said, "Well, I warned him." Did the role of Joker have something to do with his death? Or was it just a terrible accident? Heathcliff Andrew Ledger was born in Australia on 4th April 1979 to a teacher and an engineer. He has shown interest in acting and the arts since childhood. From a young age, he was very passionate about performance, and it all began when he started to participate in school plays. Heath took on many roles in local theater productions, and by the time he was 11, he decided he wanted to take acting seriously and more professionally. He got his first big role in an Australian TV show called Sweat, where he played a homosexual cyclist. He has had a few roles in Australia, but it was in the United States where his career truly started taking over. In 1999, Heath Ledger broke through Hollywood with the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, where he played the lead role and gained the attention of young viewers. This movie opened doors for him, as he started to play many different characters in various movies, such as the son of Mel Gibson in The Patriot or William Thatcher in A Knight's Tale, and many people were shocked by his fantastic acting combined with his good looks, making him one of Hollywood's favorite actors. As time went by, Heath Ledger initiated wanting to play darker and harder roles. In 2005, he was even nominated for an Oscar for his amazing performance in Brokeback Mountain, where the actor appeared as a homosexual cowboy falling in love with another man and having to deal with the difficulties that is bringing him. However, you click on this video to discover the hardships Heath Ledger had to face while starring as the Joker, the main enemy of the Batman. So let's get right into it, shall we? Many actors already displayed the role before Heath Ledger did, such as Cesar Romero, Jack Nicholson, or Mark Hamill. The Joker was always recognized by his scary laugh and a cruel sense of humor. His crimes are unpredictable and often disturbing, as he never desired money or power, he only wanted to see the world burn. He is Batman's greatest enemy, battling him both mentally and physically. Therefore, fans were fairly skeptical to see Heath Ledger, a pretty-faced young boy who played a homosexual cowboy 2 years prior, portray such a terrifying character, especially after them being used to seeing Jack Nicholson as the OG, good old iconic Joker. It was as confusing as if Marvel would all of a sudden cast Zac Efron as the new Iron Man. No, RDJ is Iron Man and nobody else can be. You know what I'm saying? The fans rather wanted to see somebody else to play the role, such as Johnny Depp, Oscar Isaac, William Dafoe, or Jude Law. Although Christopher Nolan, the director of the trilogy, gave Ledger a bit of creative freedom over playing his version of the Joker, he did suggest a few sources of inspiration. These recommendations involve a few paintings of Francis Bacon, the Anthony Burke's novel A Clockwork Orange, and heavy metal music. Nolan suggested these so that Ledger could understand what type of Joker he was envisioning, and many of these inspirations helped to form the final version we saw on screen. Ledger locked himself in a hotel room for an entire month to get to know what kind of character he would be playing. He was looking for a typical Joker voice and laugh. He was experimenting with makeup and even created a diary where he would journal about his findings. Besides working with makeup artists, he was also very engaged in his wardrobe and prop department. He even chose Joker's signature weapons from a selection of different rubber knives laid out by the prop team. And not only that, Ledger was so influenced by the role he even went on and told Christian Bale, the actor who played the Batman, to physically assault him while filming, especially in the interrogation scene. In one of the interviews, Bale said, "He was kind of egging me on. I was saying, you know what, I really don't need to actually hit you. It's gonna look just as good if I don't." And he's going, "Go on, go on, go on." He was slamming himself around, and there were tiled walls inside of that set which were cracked and dented from him hurling himself into them. His commitment was total. The Dark Knight trailer was released in December of 2007, and once the fans saw how amazing the Joker looks, they quickly fell in love with him, posting comments like, "Holy shit, this is gonna be great, I can see it, or bro, the Joker looks terrifying as hell, love it. The actors finished filming, but the directors waited a bit before they launched it to the cinemas. Tragically, before the movie was released, Heath Ledger was found dead by his masseuse and his maid. The entire world was shocked and brokenhearted, losing a great actor that stayed humble even after he got famous. An actor that was always so kind and down to earth.
Hollywood actor Heath Ledger has been found dead at his home in Manhattan. The star of Brokeback Mountain, who was 28.
The news that Heath died from an overdose by a cocktail of different prescription drugs stunned the world. But why did he do that? His career was soaring. Financially, he was very successful. He had a 2-year-old daughter. It doesn't make any sense, does it? At first, let's zoom in on his career. We all remember Ledger in movies like 10 Things I Hate About You, Brokeback Mountain, or in The Dark Knight. Considering his performance in these great movies, we could assume his career was on its peak. But let's review the timeline of his films more carefully. We're in late 2007 and early 2008. The Dark Knight wasn't yet released. It has been more than 2 years since Brokeback Mountain and nearly 10 years since 10 Things I Hate About You. His most recent movies, Candy and I'm Not There, neither succeeded at the box office, nor impressed the critics. This period wasn't successful for Heath, and he was dealing with even more stuff at home, as he has just split with his long-term partner, Michelle Williams, who he had a daughter with. His mental state wasn't stable either. For some reason, Heath Ledger, an Oscar-nominated actor, never considered himself to be good enough. In a 2005 interview, he claimed, "When I get cast in something, I always believe I shouldn't have been cast. I fool them again. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it." To boost his confidence a bit, he worked extra hard on his roles, such as in The Dark Knight. The Joker was a difficult role for Ledger, who was at the time already open about his usage of prescription drugs to help combat stress and insomnia. On January 22, 2008, Heath Ledger had a particularly hard night. He couldn't fall asleep, same as many nights before. He therefore mixed some of his pills, including painkillers, sleeping medicine, and anti-anxiety drugs. Some of these drugs, if not all, must be on prescription, and the users of the pills are highly monitored, because the pills must not be combined with each other. We therefore know Heath Ledger didn't have these pills from a pharmacy, he got them from someone else, who stays unknown to this very day. We know for sure that at 1 p.m. the next day, he has been alive, as his maid heard him snoring. But at 3 p.m., when his masseuse was getting the table ready, she noticed that he wasn't waking up and that his body was ice cold. She called an ambulance which arrived 6 minutes later, but it was too late. Heath's condition was already hopeless. It doesn't seem to have been a suicide, rather than an accidental overdose, as the combination of drugs put Heath into a deep sedation, making his brain unable to perform even the basic body functions such as breathing. Everybody agrees that Heath Ledger's death couldn't have been self-inducted, saying he always felt happy and energy, even when portraying the Joker on screen. However, many people still believe that playing Joker had to do at least something to increase the probability of Heath's tragic death, perhaps making his anxiety greater, or that the character is simply cursed. But quite frankly, I guess we'll never know.